Howdy, howdy, Frosty Vitan here. Welcome to Knightica, a game you may have missed. I say this because I'm surprised it didn't get any nominations for gaming, for indie games and that sort of stuff. It is a auto battler, tactical roguelike, and I'll just jump in and show you. It's one of my favorite games this year. I played 116 hours of the game, but I played another 60 hours of the demo. So it's one of those. Let's just jump in as Druid. Druid's so easy. I tell you, Druid is the way to go. Druid is the fun. Once you only unlock it after you've beaten insane difficulty. So you have to get really good to get the best stuff. But there's only a little bit of meta progression in terms of just unlocking your various classes. That's it. There's no other meta progression at all. Just unlocking your classes from completing the various difficulties. You have different options here. And then it's just you pick a run, you choose your starting bonus. One of the things that I do find is you will be trying to find the best one you can. And going back and forth. And you'd be like, oh, I want to hit something really... Oh my gosh. Absolutely beautiful. This is exactly what I was looking for. So, at the start of the turn, you position your army... You have to look at, what benefits they're getting each other. Is it worth, or are we? I guess we can do this. I mean, this is going to be quite painful, but not painful because we have an ogre. So certain troops have certain abilities, and all you have to do is work out how to synergize them. So one of the things that's really interesting about the borrower, despite having terrible stats, it has 100% chance to add a treasure to the shop, and then as you upgrade it, it gets can only happen one time. It becomes 2, it becomes 3, it becomes 4, and so you can start a turn by buffing one of your troops. Now the ogre is one of the most powerful units in the game, and it's incredibly simple. It receives a defensive offensive change, gains offense and defense. So this can be temporary buffs. So you can give it a temporary buff and it gets permanent stat increases. So all we want to do now, we could definitely Iron Blob, but we're not going to Iron Blob. We're going to get more borrowers. Basically what we're trying to do is pretty simple. But there's a whole million different ways you can play the game, and luck can affect, what sort of things you get, because it's a roguelike. You can get, like here, your choice could be something totally different. You could get 25 gold, you could get the Devil's Game, and you can get even more interesting things. What we're going to do is try and farm for... We need a certain attachment. Enchantment, I mean. We didn't get it, but what we're going to do is we'll do this, temporary, and it gives it permanent there. We've got the heal. We're going to roll. So if we get the right thing, basically we win. But if we don't, then we're cooked. Because we need to be able to afford it. So we could do stealing, and it wouldn't matter because we have borrowers. So we could just do... They can't go lower than 1, so we could steal... The only question, I suppose, is if it steals everything around me at once, it's not individual instances where that's what I'm looking for. We have demolition, we have rage. Rage is fantastic, but we didn't get what we need, but we'll put on rage because rage is just too good. Rage is one of the best enchantments in the game. Knightica is somewhat complex. There is a bit of learning to do. Oh, this would be good too. Check that there, actually. We'll just leave that for now. And your enemy does get super duper strong. So you do have to, on insane difficulty, you have to keep a lot of things in mind and be somewhat strategic. What we're going to do now, I guess we can just get the Dryad. It's not a big deal. So what the Dryad does is it's a healing unit, and it provides 2 defense to everything touching the front row. I think curse. We can put the curse on Dryad. It's fine. Alright, let's move the ogre, I think, to the slightly higher up. We definitely need money generation, so that'll give us money. Which is going to help us get rerolls, which is going to help us when we're trying to get borrowers to level up. Now, obviously you don't control where the units go during battle, so there is a little bit of luck there, and also a bit of strategy with you positioning units in a certain way. Oh, we can just take that. 25 bucks. Easy. We're going to get as many borrowers as we can. Lucky roll would be nice. We can chuck that on here. We can also grab another dryad, just because we need extra. We don't need any of those. We can grab another dryad. The really good thing about the... I can grab this. Okay, so now we have a few things going on now. So we're just going to start trying to scale as quick as possible. What we could do is level up the unit. So as the units level up, they do change a little bit. Usually just raw numbers. So in the case of the Dryad, when you level it up, it increases the defense plus 4 of the units in the front row. We've got another Dryad. I know we got... We really should keep these units by themselves. So the Miner, it gets at turn start, if no adjacent ally, you get 2 coins. And then at battle start, if you have at least 20 coins, you get an additional coin. So it's quite useful. But it's not a very powerful offensive unit because all of the troops combine for one single attack. So it's like a little rock in the sky, and you'll see it just hurl a rock. One of the really good things is they added a codex, so you can look at the actual stats of all the units, how much health they have. It's one thing you feel as you play, that you notice that like the borrowers actually do have a bit of health. Even though their stats are so low, they can survive longer than other units that have higher stats. So it can be a little bit misleading, the stats at times, and a little bit frustrating. Just getting used to the fact that things don't quite work as you initially assume that they would. But in general, when there's one unit, it's got a lot more health than if there's, 9. So like the Sergeant has plenty of health. And the Druid, the Dryads, they have a bit of health, but honestly not as much as you'd think they would have, despite it being a 2-unit, 2-tree group. Alright, so we're just going to keep on doing this. I'm going to get... at this point, it's probably better just to level up the ones we have. We have a Phoenix down, which is nice. We'll put it here. So what it does is, it just revives them with a little bit of health. We could go Warden and we guarantee spells, but it's okay. It's really important. The tactics is massive. And the permutations of every move you make are significant. As the bosses are quite challenging, particularly if you don't have anything good. If you just have a bunch of assorted units and you haven't quite got anything going, you can just... Sometimes you get lucky, other times you get punished. And on insane difficulty I'm playing on, you're more likely to get punished. On the lower difficulty modes, it's much easier to, grasp. It's more forgiving, naturally. So the bosses have certain abilities. This one has a debuff it places on the field, so if you had troops there, you would just move them out of the way. What I need to do here... we could definitely Dryad some more. There's no negative from having too many Dryads in this situation, because I want to have as much defense as possible, but we could just level them up, really. It's not too... Because early on we get the same thing. but it's like better numbers. That's fine. The good thing about the Dryads is they heal based on their attack. So it is better to have them as high attack stat as possible so you can do big healing. But generally, it's fine. And we're focusing all of our efforts on one troop. So that makes healing way more effective when your tank is just one unit. The Spider Queen shoots like a poison thing. It targets the troop with the highest defense, just so that you can tank it. Otherwise, it would be a little bit unfair. Sometimes it can target things you don't want it to, but yeah, that's kind of one of the dangers. You will develop units with better offense than defense, and then if they get hit by a boss, they can be just knocked out. It's quite frustrating. Mages in particular are vulnerable in that way. We can just do this one, that's fine. This way we guarantee more ogres and we can level up our ogre, and that's actually the pathway to success. Later on, the most important thing is getting princesses because they can increase your max level, and that's kind of the most important thing in the game. We can fast learner. I mean, we can just fast learner. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so we have another ogre. We could do double ogre. There's no negative to doing double ogre at this point. That's kind of... I do need to adjust the positioning there, because there's no point having the borrowers getting the defensive buff if that ogre's not going to. I do think 3 ogres is way too much for an ogre run. But yeah, if does it interest you? Do you like the look of the game, the art style? I think, I think it's great, but what do you think? Is it captured your interest at all? Check out the demo. It's on PC, obviously. This is on PlayStation. So this is the good thing about it, is that it is on different platforms. We could do... I don't really want to be restricted by money. We just do that. And we get this one. If there's a certain enchantment we're looking for, if we can find it, then we can put it on the weaker ogre and it'll catch up to the other one very quickly. Alright, so we can do twist here. That's fine. Spells that change our stats will also give us a buff. So we're Fury. So we have an important moment here. We can go... we can't go 3 ogres. 3 ogres is ridiculous. We'll just go here. We'll grab here and we'll grab here. I pressed on the wrong one. We got Vengeance. No, that's fine. Alright, to battle. The most important thing, though, in Knightica, particularly on insane difficulty, is just scaling. You just want something, a troop that generates. So things you can do like infinite spells, and then you can increase offense whenever you use spells, and you can like do infinite cycles of money, and you can be stuck in the menu for 30 minutes. But, I mean, into the shop. But alright, so we got it. Now we have Frenzy. I'm going to put it on the weaker one, and I'll show you how incredibly powerful it is. Also, what else could we do? We don't need anything else, do we? So I'm going to continue focusing all of my vitamins. Okay, I'm going to go here. On one of them, and you'll notice the other one will catch up very quickly. Bop, 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 bop. Oh, wrong one. The reason why the Dryads are so good is because they do increase defense, and I really want it to be more defensive orientated, because one of the problems with Rage in particular on the top one is that it will skew it highly offensively, which should be fine generally, but it can also be an issue. So what we're going to do now is we have backup. Now we have a mecha. Okay, so what else? Positioning, we could be definitely be better. What I'm going to do... We just have to get it to a certain spot. Necromancer doesn't really benefit us at all. Greed does. Even though we're not going to get the buff from it. It's once you've got 30 above 30 coin, then you get stat increases. But with the mecha is a very, very special unit. It can have 3 enchantments, and just by holding an enchantment, it gets an offensive buff every turn. So, and also it just shoots laser beams. But you'll notice the bottom ogre, every time it attacks, it gains stats. That's part of Frenzy. So it'll just keep on naturally gaining stats and catch up. So here we go, big level. Now that the ogre's leveled up, you get +4. So really, 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 really nice. We can just grab that. I do want to switch positioning. That would be better, wouldn't it? It's kind of just awkward. Something you have to consider when troops have different sizes is how you're going to fit them all together in one big approach. But I know what I'm going to have to do later is pretty much get rid of half the troops and just fill the entire area with princesses, because that's the only way to really scale into the highest difficulty, like to get into the millions of damage and to progress into endless, which is after you've done the whole insane campaign, basically. Alright, so we just level up a couple Dryads. And we'll do this just so we get the greed buff on the mecha. It's not much, but it's every little bit of stats helps. It's really always worthwhile to grab a mecha when you see one, because they can scale very quickly. Once you get triple rage on them and leveled up a bit, they're incredibly powerful. Because one of the things that the mecha can do is it increases the level of the enchantment on it, which not all of them actually do anything. We're going to do an elite here, but some of them do, so you can actually scale it. Really, it's really interesting. There's some units I do feel like they don't scale that well, unless you they're very niche in their scaling, so it's harder to build them. Ogre is one of the easiest units in the entire game to build. And we could put more, like what we could do here is technically we could get rid of one of the Dryads position here. So we just put Sergeant here. So we get one less, but because I put the Sergeant there, the Sergeant gives offensive buffs to every unit it's in contact with. And so that makes up. So we're not losing anything. And it's just so I want to get the mecha to get some offensive buffs. Some of the mini bosses can be particularly challenging. This one teleports, so it's a bit of a pain in the ass, but what we need to do, we need princesses. So we need to basically get rid of a whole bunch of units. Okay, so we have a princess. Positioning is key. So what we need to do now... Okay, so we have it on the mecha. We have 2 ogres. We should level up the bottom one, because that'll actually give it a chance to scale. Alright, you go here. You go here. Princess will go here, so it can... Whatever's in the line, the yellow line of the princess, gets a experience. It gets a small amount of experience, and as the princess gets higher level, it gets more. So early on, it's not much, but it'll be really important. And one of the other things I can do, I'll put this here so it gets a minor offensive buff. Also, maybe a good idea to put... No, it's okay. We'll get the defensive buff for the Dryad. That's not a bad thing. Bam, bam, bam. And we're going. One of the things we could do... Okay, so we can move this and we put another sergeant, so at least the sergeants buff the sergeants. Okay, so in this situation we have bam, bam, bam. I mean, I don't expect the sergeants to be of any use. I do have to replace them eventually with princesses. So it's kind of like, everything is a temporary measure at this point. We've got 2 level 4s, which is really helpful. Oh, we're 2 level 3s. What we can do... Okay, it should be fine. So the enchantment I just put on that middle sergeant gives it, whenever it gets XP, it gets a defensive buff. So every start of every turn, the princess will give it XP and it'll have a defensive increase. It's not much, but... we have another Phoenix down, which we're going to chuck on the mecha because we can have 3. I'm not worried about anything else really too much there. There are enchantments that increase the speed of your units. That also can have a dramatic effect, but I'm generally just worried about offense. So here we have Tactical Lord. This one isn't too bad, just has a couple phases where it summons tentacles that'll attack a unit. Spellblade is incredibly powerful, kind of stupidly powerful. And if we put it in... So what we need to do here... Spellblade will actually do so much. It's kind of ridiculous how powerful it is. So this is one of those situations where maybe the answer here is to get rid of... Okay, so we'll do that. Bring in a Spellblade because Spellblade is just that good. Mecha there. Oh, so what the Spellblade does is it gets offensive defense for each troop level on the field, and it adds 2 troops from your army to the shop. So it can add itself to the shop. So you can basically use it to get your army's troops much easier. It's incredibly powerful, and it can scale pretty well. Honestly, I do feel like Ogre can scale nicely, but it has what the my Rush Ogre has basically. Is it every time this spell slot swings, it gets offense increase. It's only 1 to start with, but as you level it up, it goes higher. And it's really just the once you've covered your whole army side with princesses and everything's leveling up constantly, it'll scale crazy. The bosses are great though for, you know, increasing damage. The rush. So we just absolutely smash that. We'll just do that. Rerolls. There are, when you beat bosses, you do have a choice of a whole bunch of different limited upgrades. That can change the whole run, basically. They can make things harder, they can make it easier. They can do some really interesting things. So we do that. I guess we just save money, because money is still really important. We need to get another enchantment on the mecha, and it hasn't leveled up. We need more princesses. That's the answer to every problem. Mecha. Mecha levels really, really, really helpful. But Knightica is a really engaging game. It really draws you in and immerses you. So even when I'm trying to talk about the game and sell it to you, basically, I'm getting drawn in thinking about what I've got to do next, how I've got to build things. This is, again, the easiest it's ever going to be. Usually it's a lot more complicated than trying to get 2 ogres going. We could definitely... Here we go. So we have another princess. The most important thing with princesses is that they just support each other, basically. That they get each other to level up by giving each other XP. So we're eventually going to have as many as I can fit. And that only showed up because of the spell blade. And we're past 1,000 offense and defense. We go with money, just because money's absolutely the most useful thing. So this is King. It's a legendary unit. It's only worth... I think it's worthwhile using when you have lots of knighthood units. And I only have 3 sergeants. So each unit has a type. So we have knighthood, we have nature, arcanist for most spellcasters, ancient for golem types, and then we have greedy for money. Units that make money. So, let's go. Now we're doing well money-wise. For now. So Chaos Lord's also another interesting legendary. It steals stats, so it's not useful in this situation, but perhaps in others. Okay, so now it's time we just sort of... We can... Okay, what we're going to do... Princess here, and once we get more princesses, we'll sort that out. Okay, princess. We'll just chuck that on there. Alright, so we got 4 princesses, probably need more of them. Honestly, you need like 10. Because we need to get past like level 100, and the princess is the most useful thing. I know we lost the dryad, and that means we're not getting a instance of increased or of changed stats for both of the ogres, but once they level up, the change stat is much more effective. So it's much more important to level up, I believe, than anything else. So what we can do now, This is a tricky bit. So I guess we just get rid of the burrowers. It's kind of annoying. I wish that they could survive longer. But we Spellblade. So we just need the princesses to be always impacting the ogres. So you could definitely argue to get the sergeant out of the way. I should do that, shouldn't I? We are starting to take a bit more damage. It's the problem of getting rid of the dryads, we don't have the healing. But now we're starting to get some levels going. What we're going to do... Alright, you're going to go here. We could definitely... Okay, we'll go here with the princess. We'll have to get rid of the other borrower unit. Oh. Everything's just slowly being replaced. It has to be replaced though. That's the... Yeah, that's what it is. What we could do, alternatively, I could move that, we can move that, so we could go here. And then we could move this dryad up to the front. We could adjust. We can go here. Decisions. Everything is a tactical. Yeah, everything's tactical. You're just trying to think about how the long-term benefits of having more princesses is that everything can level up. But then if there's nothing to level up because everything's gone because there's only princesses, that's a problem because princesses cap at 10. So what the princess does is increases the level cap, and everything is level capped at 10 from the base. So, but it only increases the cap when they level up. So the princesses need to level up to be able to actually make it a positive impact. And it's doubled on allies with a cost of 4 or less. So yeah, cheaper units get more XP, but that's not what we're worried about. So it's still worthwhile to get the dryads to level up because we need big healing. The mecha's got okay offense, but really it's sort of struggling. It needs better enchantments. Spellblade is not really doing a whole lot because you saw I got rid of a unit. Its attack went down, so it's one of the things long term. Once the princesses get going, the Spellblade will actually be useful, but it's going to be kind of just a floating unit that's best use is not in battle. Its best use is actually just helping me get more troops, the ones that I've already got. So we're going to do... I'll just move on. We need to save a little bit of money. What would be really helpful is if we had some enchantments that gave stat buffs. So we can get ones that increase defense, and if we put that on a princess and it's contacting both ogres, it gives them both a stat change, which would be very, very, very helpful. Okay, so now the mech is level 4. It's really going to start climbing. Hopefully. 48. Gets 48 offense every turn. And it's got booty cheek enchantments, so... There we go. Big. Getting levels on princesses. Now they're going to start really, really churning. What we're going to do... we can take this because it's from a spell and sell it. Mecha, another princess. What we could do... There's room here. We can go here. So now we have level 4 ogre. And it's getting how much from Rage. So Rage is a really interesting enchantment. It gives you a flat percentage increase in offense. It's only, I think, 3%, but as it goes on, it's the key to getting your offense past 100,000 to in the millions, basically. It's one of the most powerful scaling enchantments. Now we're really starting to pump. See, plus 1 offense and an additional 3% offense if troop has 300 or more. So because we were past 300 a long time ago, we get big bonuses, and it's just going to get better and better and better. 3 of them on a mecha is a recipe for success, basically. At this point, we have to make a decision about the mine. We get rid of these. We just have to there's no planet where they stay. Get more princesses. Yes, we don't have as much money, but it's definitely worthwhile. We get another princess here. We just to level up princesses. If anything, we can move it around so it gives XP to the mecha. Now the princess as an offensive unit, it can do some damage because it does a big splash, but I really, because it has max level cap of 10, you're really not going to do a hell of a lot with it unless you've got other things going absolutely crazy. So here we go, World 3, insane difficulty, which if you, I try to make this look as easy as possible, but it's not. Getting to this point takes a long time. That said, Ogre runs certainly help. So this boss, it does this thing that it bugs the screen out. I really hate it. So now we have the bug. So that in terms of performance, it's really good. No crashes with Knightica, but it does have some challenges. There's this bug with this particular boss, the Dark Sorcerer, when it absorbs units and the unit's stuck on the screen. Its description, it gets stuck on the screen. Just on PlayStation 5, of course. So generally pretty damn good though. So even if you have like infinite spell generation and you have, like fill the whole bottom bar with like 150 spells, it's okay. Alright, so now we just go endless. So now we have this UI bug. Level up more, there we go. So we're really starting to cook. I think we just have to get the mecha going. Shadow step on the mecha would be fantastic. This is where we make even more important decisions. We have 1, so we got 8, 9, 10. We have 10 princesses. That's really enough. I shouldn't get any more. Honestly, I shouldn't get any more. But maybe we just do it because we can get 2 more. All right, here we go. Honestly, Shadow Step on the mecha is really powerful. We still have sergeants, even though maybe I shouldn't. One thing I will say though, criticisms I suppose for Knightica. The music I think is not very good. I honestly think it's better to mute it and put on your own music. And Knightica is a great game you can have on in the background while you're watching like a stream or something else. So it is one of those ones that you don't have to be all hands on deck because it is an auto battler. Once you set things up, you know what you're trying to do. It's fine like that. Okay, what we're going to do is grab Fast Learner on the mecha would be absolutely stupidly good. But so would it maybe on the Spell Slinger. This thing is going to scale like crazy. Mecha is just so good when it's... Alright, let's go Mecha. And let's see if we can fish and get another one. We have Rage, Rock, Rage. Put that on the Mecha. The Mecha is pretty much... I'm just going to leave it how it is. Sniper is great. If we want to get one of these princesses to actually do something offensively. So now we have Rage on the mecha. It's going to really start to pump, which is good because we're going to need to get stronger much quicker because Endless is incredibly difficult. And if we don't have it in the order of hundreds of thousands of offense soon, we're going to be like cooked. We get a free one, which is just going to chuck there. We're going to go another princess, and this one's going to go here. We just need to save money. So this guy, look, he's already got 4,800 offense. So our defense is not good enough. This is... Honestly, we could get wiped here. We could get really badly wiped. If we don't get some free hits in. Yeah, princesses sacrificing themselves. Okay, we got... Yeah, we have big challenges, and we need increased offensive bad. Defense is terrible, but... So that one gave us like flat 200 on main Ogar. Alright. Generally, the mini bosses in Endless are much higher stats than anything you'll fight in the fight beforehand. The previous ones. So I should be okay for a little bit. Whether we just get completely obliterated by the boss here, it's definitely on the cards. But it's the advantage of Shadow Stepping the mecha. Shadow Step allowing the units to spawn at the back. As it means it won't be immediately targeted, so maybe we can get some damage off there. Alright. I think we just level up some of the princesses. Yeah, that'll be fine. Because we haven't even hit level cap on our ogres, so I feel like maybe I think we're almost cooked. It's like a dream run, but it's just nowhere near good enough. Burrowers definitely could have got us. Probably more powerful, but then we would have been capped because we need to get... It's such a tricky thing. When you're at that upper echelon, when you can get up to Endless 13 and everything else, anything below that is a failure. Not really a failure. Energize is really good, so that's going to help a lot. We can mecha because it's got beautiful. Let's just go. So mecha's scaling pretty well. Our Fury one is still a fair bit behind. The key is that every time the princesses level up, they give more XP. So it sort of just snowballs. Alright, here we go. Moment of truth. Restore would be nice, but nothing is going to survive at one hit. So it's really just like, it's kind of pointless. We can level up one of the princesses. That gives us more Spellblade life and hope. And I think it's over. I think we're lost. We need to get some free hits here, otherwise we're done. Because if it hits our ogres, it's going to one-shot them. So Mecha is going to have to step up. It's 2,000 offense. It went for the Mecha first. Princesses have to absorb. We've got to keep that ogre alive. If we lose that ogre, it's over. Big moment. We need some luck here. Princess, has got any damage in you? Nah, it's over. Just doing nothing now. 10,000 defense. Oh, it only had one little bit of health left. Ooh. So that's like a really good run, but obviously not nearly good enough. But that's the game. That's Knightica. Were you interested? Were you intrigued? Were you thinking you could do it better? Which I'm sure you could. I don't know how else to advertise the game but to show it. But yeah, this is one of the best games of 2025. I really enjoy it. I do think, again, the music, But there's plenty of time in it. You just go through each character and you beat it on each difficulty, unlock them. They all do different things. All the classes have different functions. The druid's just so nice to do because it gets you the whole screen to fill up. Otherwise you had to buy the tiles. And they're not that expensive, but it's just one of those things that it's kind of annoying. Arena is the alternate mode where you go in and you face other classes. So basically, you won't be fighting against the demon troops. You'll be fighting against like similar ones you've seen. So they may have an ogre that's got like restore on it that's hard to take care of, and it's a different sort of challenge. It's tough, I will say, Arena, but they kind of fixed it a little bit. It was really tough, and then they made it a little bit easier. Still very RNG, but yeah, I think you can deterministically build things if you know what you're trying to do and you know the strengths and weaknesses of the class you pick. So it is a game of knowledge. It certainly helps, but having said that, there's some wicked crazy combinations that you may need a little bit of luck to get. Yeah, if you're interested, there are demos you can check out for Knightica. It's on console and PC. And that's the really positive thing for me as a mainly console player, is that there's not a lot of auto battlers on console that are... I mean, we don't have Mecha Bellum. that's the truth. They usually always go on PC and just never to console. So yeah, so I really appreciated that they released simultaneously PC and console. And I played the game a lot, and I really enjoy it. I hope you do too. This is one of those games you may have missed of 2025. Knightica, Tactical Roguelike Autobattler. And I've been Frosty510. Like and subscribe, and catch you next time. If you already play it, if you see me play it a lot, I got plenty of videos on the channel, more high level videos and stuff, and I got streams and things. You want to see more content about it, check my channel, search Knightica. And yeah, have a wonderful afternoon, evening, and good night. See ya.